Today we are going deeper into the 48 laws of power and how they really work in everyday life. In the previous video, we talked about 5 laws that can change the way you move in your career, relationships, and personal life. This time, the laws are a bit more uncomfortable, a bit more brutal, but also more honest about how people actually behave. This is not about becoming a villain or manipulating everyone around you. It is about stopping the naive version of you that always gets surprised, hurt, and disappointed. When you understand power, you can protect yourself, make better decisions, and stop losing to the same patterns over and over again. Let's go through 5 more laws of power that nobody taught you in school, but you keep paying the price for not knowing. Law 2. Never put too much trust in friends. Most people grow up believing that friends are always safe and enemies are always dangerous. Real life is not that simple. Friends can become jealous, entitled, and careless with your secrets, especially when money, status, or pressure enter the picture. The first lesson of this law is simple. Trust actions, not labels. Someone being called a friend does not automatically make them loyal, wise, or safe. What matters is how they behave when your life starts to change, when you succeed, or when things get hard. A friend can betray you out of envy or carelessness. An enemy who respects your strength can sometimes be more reliable than a lazy, comfortable friend. In practical terms, this means you do not share everything with your friends. You do not tell every detail about your plans, your money, your opportunities, or your weaknesses. You keep some areas of your life private, even from the people you love. When you start a project with a friend, you still use clear boundaries and, if possible, written agreements. Not because you do not love them, but because you respect both of you enough to avoid future drama. Pay attention to how people act when you win. A real friend feels proud of you, maybe even inspired. A fake friend suddenly becomes distant, passive-aggressive, or starts making little jokes that minimize your success. Respect your friends, but do not worship them. Protect your future first, and then see who can walk with you without turning into a problem. Law 4. Always say less than necessary. Most of the time, people talk too much. They talk to fill silence, to impress others, or to justify themselves. The more you talk, the more you reveal your fears, your doubts, and your weak points. This law is about understanding that silence is power. Short, clear sentences are stronger than long, emotional speeches. Mystery makes people pay attention. When people cannot fully read you, they think twice before underestimating you. In arguments, you do not need to throw 1,000 words to prove your point. Say what you believe calmly once, and then stop. Let the other person waste their energy repeating themselves. You will look more stable and more in control. In professional life, answer questions clearly, but do not volunteer extra sensitive information. You do not need to tell your boss or your colleagues every detail about your family, your finances, or your side projects. Online, this law is even more important. You are not required to answer every comment, every insult, or every message. Ignoring is also a response. Sometimes, silence protects your reputation better than a perfect comeback. Let people wonder what you are thinking. It is safer than letting them see all your insecurities. Law 6. Court attention at all costs. In today's world, attention is the new currency. You can be intelligent, kind, and talented, but if nobody ever notices you, you remain invisible. This law is not telling you to be desperate or ridiculous. It is not about begging for attention or creating fake drama. It is about not hiding your value. If you do not control your image and your message, the world will ignore you or define you the wrong way. So you have to step forward with intention. For your online work, that means strong thumbnails, clear titles, and a consistent visual style. It means you are not afraid to make your content stand out in a crowded feed. In real life, it means speaking up at least once in a meeting. It means showing your work instead of assuming people see your effort. It means sharing some of your wins at the right time, not to brag, but to let people know what you can do. Learn basic storytelling. When something happens in your life, frame it as a lesson others can learn from, not just a complaint or a random story. At the same time, do not chase dirty attention. Drama, lies, and cheap shock might bring fast views, but they destroy your reputation in the long run. You are aiming for quality attention from people who respect your work and your mind. Do not hide in the background and then complain that nobody sees you. Step into the light with a clear purpose. Law 11. Learn to keep people dependent on you. Power disappears when you are easily replaceable. If anybody can do what you do, in the same way and at the same level, people will not value you for long. This law is not about trapping people. It is about becoming uniquely useful, so that losing you would be a real loss. The most direct way to apply this is through skill. Become extremely good at one or two things. It might be writing, editing, design, speaking, sales, coding, or strategy. Whatever it is, work until you become the person who comes to mind first when that skill is needed. At work, do more than just follow instructions. Create systems, ideas, and improvements that are clearly connected to you. If you left tomorrow, people should feel the gap. In relationships, understand that your time, your calm energy, and your advice are valuable. If you are always available, always saying yes and never setting boundaries, people start to think your presence has no cost. Make sure that when people think of you, they associate you with specific strengths. The reliable one, the problem solver, the calm strategist, the person who adds value wherever they go. The goal is not to control or manipulate others. The goal is to build yourself into someone with such high value that disrespecting you or losing you becomes a stupid move. Law 15. Crush your enemy. Totally. This is one of the darkest laws, and it can sound extreme. But in modern life, you can read it in a different way. Do not leave serious problems half-solved. There are some people, habits, and environments that are too toxic to manage with soft, small adjustments. Trying to keep just a little bit of them in your life keeps you stuck in the same cycle. A so-called friend who constantly disrespects you, lies about you, or quietly sabotages you is not a friend. If every conversation with them ends with you feeling smaller and more confused, the answer is not another deep talk. Sometimes the answer is a clean cut, less contact, less access, or even no contact at all. The same is true for destructive habits. Some things cannot be reduced slowly. They have to be removed like a tumor. Maybe for you it is gambling, hard drugs, endless scrolling, toxic websites, or a lifestyle that is slowly destroying your health and focus. You cannot keep a small corner of your life for something that is clearly trying to take over the entire room. Choose one enemy in your life that is not a person, but a pattern. It might be procrastination, late nights, junk information, or constant complaining. Design a total attack on that pattern. Change your environment, delete apps, add accountability, and replace the habit with something healthier. Mercy is good, but not with the things that are quietly killing your future. Outro. These 5 laws are not comfortable. They go against the soft version of life that says, just be nice and everything will work out. But the adult world runs on power, incentives, and unspoken rules. You do not have to use these laws to hurt people. You use them to protect yourself, to stop being naive, and to move with more intelligence and less confusion. Be careful who you trust. Speak less and observe more. Do not hide your value from the world. Make yourself hard to replace, and stop treating serious enemies and destructive habits like small problems. If you want another episode with more laws of power translated into real life, let me know in the comments. And if this helped you, share it with someone who needs to stop living on autopilot